Hello and welcome to the Prelims PYQ discussion of new IAS. We have started the modern India discussions, and this video is about the theme of British expansion. Now, the interesting thing is you just have one question from this theme, but it deals with a long time period. British expansion in India starts from 1764 or maybe 1757 Battle of Plassey. 1764 you have the Battle of Buxar. From here it starts and it extends till 1857, which is the revolt of 1857. So for almost 100-year period you just have one question. But take the case of something like the Montagu-Chelmsford reforms or the Montfort reforms, which took place in 1919. From this single theme you have 5 questions from 2014 to 23. So the weightage that UPSC gives to certain topics has to be understood. That's why we have thematically classified it. So in this time period, the input-output ratio is less. So you can study it accordingly. And the one question that has come, it is conceptual in nature. We are going to discuss that here. Now the question is about subsidiary alliance system. Whenever you hear about subsidiary alliance, connect it with Lord Wellesley. 1798. Which one of the following statements does not apply to the system of subsidiary alliance introduced by Lord Wellesley? First, to maintain a large standing army at the expense of others. Second, to keep India safe from Napoleonic danger. Third, to secure a fixed income for the company. Fourth, to establish British paramountcy over Indian states. Now, to answer this, you should know what subsidiary alliance is. In subsidiary alliance, see the term subsidiary. Who is a subsidiary here? The princely state is a subsidiary. To whom are they subsidiary? They are subsidiary to the British or the British resident. So what happens is you have a princely state. Let's take the case of Hyderabad. In this Hyderabad princely state, Lord Wellesley will appoint someone as the resident. This resident will stay in the court. He will maintain a British troop. This troop will be maintained by the expense of the Sultan of Hyderabad, the Nawab of Hyderabad. So as a result, the Nawab of Hyderabad would have had his own army before. This army would be disbanded. Plus, the diplomatic relations of the state will be controlled by the British so that they cannot establish relation with any other external state or power, especially foreign powers like the French. So which means the complete control over the system is taken by the British, and this will happen at the expense of the Nawab. That's the system. So what do the Nawab get in return for this? The Nawab gets protection. This works just because this is a time when these people are fighting against each other. So Hyderabad is fighting against Carnatic, they are fighting against Mysore, so they need protection from each other, and they saw a potential ally in the British. So British took this opportunity and they introduced the subsidiary alliance system. So from the perspective of Nawab, he's just giving money, instead he is getting security. From the perspective of British, they have more than one objective. One, of course, they are maintaining the army. Second, most importantly, Napoleon is doing his invasions during this time. So 1800s, the first decades of 1800s is the time of Napoleonic conquest in Europe. So there is a possibility that France, along with Russia, will form alliances with princely states in India. Some of the kings, like Tipu Sultan for example, they in fact did this. So out of this fear, they have introduced the subsidiary alliance. So subsidiary alliance from the British perspective had a lot of objectives. Now let's come back to the question. To maintain a large standing army at the other's expense. Obviously that was the idea. Second, to keep India safe from Napoleonic danger. Of course, that was the idea again. Third, to secure a fixed income for the company. Now, if company by this time, by Wellesley's time, which is 1798, already had consolidated their powers. They defeated the French. Battle of Carnatic was over in 1761. They got the Diwani and Nizamat 1764. The major rival states like Mysore was defeated by Battle of Seringapatanam 1792. So 1798 means they are already at the peak of their power. To secure a fixed income, they don't need something like an alliance. They can directly demand it, or they can directly consolidate. So why would they do this? An alliance is always struck when you have a win-win situation for both sides. So from the state of princely state, they have some benefit here. From the side of Wellesley or the British, they also have some benefit. That's when it becomes an alliance. So this is the wrong option here. Last, it's a very generic statement to establish British paramountcy over Indian states. Of course, that's a byproduct. So that cannot be negated. So this option cannot be negated. So the only option that can be negated here is option number C. Now fixed income comes, but it comes in the form of indirect expense to the army, not directly. So that can be contradicted like that. But I'll still say this question can be tricky just because of the nature of this. Because the Nawab is paying for the army. But just keep in mind it is indirect and the British need not strike an alliance if they need an income. For those two logics, we'll eliminate this option. So hence, the incorrect option does not apply, will be this. So answer C is the right answer here. So that's it. Thank you for listening.